Dawn, I'd like to come to you. Um, you've had a fantastic period. Things have really changed for you this year. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Oh, well, I don't know. The proof will be in the pudding at the end of next period, won't it? I think it's like I was saying when we were talking. I think it's the easy bit, or it's like a lot easier than what most people think is getting people in, and that is like super simple. And three team members that we've brought in the last 2 weeks have already sponsored their first team member. Two of them haven't even put orders on yet. They're just not waiting. They're just doing it.
Doing it.
So they're just doing it. And then obviously I'm just looking after the new people that they're actually fetching in, which is good because it's given me a chance to work with them and kind of get to know them as well. And plus it keeps on letting me practice getting people started. So you're kind of doing it without even really thinking about it. And you're making new friends as well, aren't you, along the way? So yeah, I think we just it basically started. We saw a post on the Terrier group, Gavin Scott's Terrier group. So if none of you are actually like a member there, definitely sign up to his Facebook page. And he come about with a training, pretty much what Becky, well, and Kevin, you both started really now. What a good year ago. It's got to be really, hasn't it? Like the online messaging, and for some reason, whether it was the way that we've been taught previously, and I've got that really bad problem as well. Of over analysing and overthinking instead of just stop messing up, just do the activity and see the results.
Me too.
And so anyway, on Gavin's group, he'd basically just done kind of like an open version of what he was replying and responding when people were messaging. Even though we'd kind of all set up our Wix sites with the information and all the rest of it. So I just kind of thought, right, I'm just going to like adopt this, basically only purely because it was there in text. I'm quite sure that if Becky had sent us all her messages, I would just have copied the same thing. It's the same difference, isn't it? And so instead of focusing on thinking that we needed to speak to people or the catalogs, kind of like that type of thing, we didn't. We just started responding. And those messages, if anybody wants to see them, well, Becky, you've posted some, haven't you, like in our sponsoring group, but there's a file on Gavin Scott's Terrier group, and there's like lots of messages there in the training, and we basically just started to consistently do that, but keeping a record of how many posts we were doing, basically, and repetitively doing it, consistently messaging, following up, posting, messaging, following up, at the same time, kind of like every day. And the momentum, I would say, over like about 5 to 7 days, just built. And we weren't doing anything kind of any different when we got them in. It was just a case of responding. But I think it was probably just literally kind of like the volume. And then again, most importantly, following up. And as a result, we've sponsored in, I think like altogether, there's about 12 of us now, including like Georgia brought someone in. That was like Juliet. You had like Sandra Hayway. Sandra brought in Beta. I'm always frightened in case I pronounce people's names wrong. That's why I like to speak to them. And then we had gosh, I'm starting to like lose track. I've got them all wrote down here. Anyway, we basically
That's a good place to be, Don. If you can't remember everybody's
yeah.
name, that's a good place to be.
It is, but it's not, isn't it? So we've kind of had to come up with like a strategy at home where we're basically just using laminate sheets, scribbling everything down, where we're up till, have they put the first, breaking it down for the 30-day reward, 60-day reward, have they set the group up, following them up, their order so far that week, and just kind of trying to get them off to like the best possible start,
It's
following up.
Planning and a bit of organisation.
Yeah, like checking the groups to see where they're up till, and that type of thing. So I think that's all it is. And then obviously, like the additional blanket dropping. I think you just get to a phase where you just think this is just crap, and I'm not going to put up with it. I've got to do something about it. And I don't feel like I know anything different or we're doing anything differently. We're just doing a lot more of it. And it's as simple as that. And so you learn as you go, don't you? Or we panic and phone yous or message yous or something. So yeah, so it's just anybody can do it, but don't make the mistake that I did, and wait to think that you've got to like know everything or you overthink everything, and in that time you've talked yourself out of it. Just do it and scare yourself and learn as you go. That's all I would say.
Dawn, sorry, can I ask Dawn a question?
Yeah.
Dawn, when I say I want to wait until like I get my 10% on a regular basis until I start sponsoring, and then I feel like I can prove to my teamies that I'm doing that. Are you making your own 10% a month?
Absolutely.
You do catalogs, don't you? So you've got customer base already, haven't you?
We have like an established customer base.
Yeah.
That started before there was like the online side.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt exactly the same, Claire. I kept thinking, well, I need like a big check, or I need something to show someone, and really, you don't. I think that the problem, the thing that I thought that I had to know everything, or I had to be almost worthy of being able to kind of fetch people in, because in my mind I needed to know everything. Where I think because of the system that we've got in place, with the resource site, on the Bevink resource site, you don't need to know what you're doing. And that's why when we're setting up people's groups as well, they're not waiting to put a recruitment ad in. We send them a recruitment ad to put in, and we tell them that's another mistake I made for a long time. Now it's when people join us, it's an expectancy. I expect them to. It's part of it. It's not separate anymore, and it's just part of the process. And yeah, like Georgia doesn't know what she's doing. No, Helen's brought in Tony. Sorry, that was the one. Tony got a welcome rewards before Helen did. Just so you can't. And what better way to not only like kind of like grow your income, but to grow your confidence, then to be able to like introduce it to other people. You are good enough, Claire, like beyond, and you've proved yourself 1,000 times over. You've nothing to prove to anybody. And what is it? Who was it who said? I think probably Abby. Fake it till you make it. They don't know that you don't know, and if you don't know, you know somebody who does. Like, big deal. You just get the information where you need it. But how epic would you feel if this time next week you had like 2 or 3 people in your team? And I think it builds your confidence. And even Mark is doing it now. And if I said to Mark even a couple of months ago, are you gonna recruit? He would have like gone and hid under the stairs or something, because he was exactly the same as you. Oh, don't mention that again. You're just nagging. You're nagging. But then of course we've seen all of the but because he doesn't have to speak to anybody now, then he's just doing exactly the same system as me and doing the messages. I mean, which is fine, but obviously when you get them in, like you need to speak to them as quickly as possible, don't you? So but they're already in your team. You're only sending them the link for the resource site, and then while they're watching that, that's the key. I do once they've watched the getting started retail and online, you need to go and watch that. Come back as soon as you've watched it, by which time I'll have your group set up, and I'll be starting to send you pictures over. And then it's just watching to see what they do in the group and so on, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's like you think you feel inferior when it's you, but it's not. It's not you. It's the same as this week. We've brought all these people in. Not everybody stayed. Maybe one hasn't got started. 5 have got started. 3 have put orders on. If you do enough of anything, you're going to get there. It's not hard, is it? If I can do it, anybody can do it.
You say no, it's changed, but you have. You're passionate. You're a different person, but you're more confident. You're a leader. You're showing people now. But you've hit the nail on the head, because what's happened? You've had this switch. You've had this shift, this mental shift, this thinking that's gone from I have to teach to I don't have to teach nothing. I've just got to learn and show them where to learn.
Exactly.
And be a signpost. And like you said, it's not your fault if they fail. It's their bloody fault.
You see, but that was another mistake I used to make. I used to think, oh, they've left, or they've not set up the group, or it's all my fault and I must be rubbish at this. Well, no, because why do some people that you give the exact information to, doing the exact process with the exact why do some people do it? Why do some people not? It's like, why are some people miserable? Why are some people not? Why are some people pessimistic? Why are some people? You can't control
Absolutely.
people, can you? You know.
We've got to stop blaming ourselves and thinking it's us that's not good enough. The
Totally.
opportunity is the same for everybody.
Yeah.
It's up to us to
Yeah.
grow as individuals. And when we start to grow, when we get confident, when we get competence and confidence and vision and belief and start just doing it, then
Yeah.
everything grows.
Yeah.
But like Andy said, like I've said, unless you get in the water, you're never going to learn to swim. You can
Yeah.
read every book. You can do all the theory sat on the side. You can do all the dry strokes and everything you want. But until you actually get in that water and actually get your feet wet,
Yeah.
nothing's going to change.